Hi cuties! Eee! I hope you're having an awesome day today. I just had an awesome conversation with a teenager about how parents don't take the time to properly influence and guide their children in tough and challenging conversations and situations because they believe if discussing it will make their child less trustworthy. And it kind of broke my heart. I myself know that I didn't have a lot of guidance from my parents or the adults in my life when it came to conversations such as sex or drinking or drugs in the world as we know it. The reasons for making good choices, the consequences for making bad ones. So I thought maybe I'd make a video about that because I think that it's something that needs discussed. If we don't talk to our children about the reality of this world, the things that they could face without placement of fear, without placement of rejection or judgment, how are they ever going to be better than they are? How are they going to be better than we were, than our parents were? We have so much knowledge and wisdom because of the mistakes that we've made. And why would we not give that gift to our children to guide them away from our bad choices, away from our struggles, if we can? I think that teaching your child that sex is something that should be shared between two individuals, and when it's shared with the right individual, it'll be the most amazing and beautiful thing. It's something that completes you both physically and mentally and emotionally and even spiritually if you're with the right partner. And I think that it's important for kids to know that because if they don't, they could end up with an STD or a parent at a small age before they've even learned about the world. I know that there's so many options out there, and I would much rather my child get guidance from me than influences from their friends or someone that might pass through their life, because they're not going to have the same visions as me. They're not going to have the same thoughts. Even the best people on the planet might have a different view. And so I think it's important to share our views with our children and help them grow and be the best they can be. Explain to them not only that drugs can be bad, but the criminal aspect of what drugs can bring, that you can end up in prison over it. You could end up in a situation where someone puts some kind of drug in your drink, and you could end up having wake up the next day and not know what happened to you. these are all real things. People I know have really had that happen to them. And so if we don't live in a naive world, but a world of reality, our kids grow up entitled because we want to give them the best things possible. But we work our butts off to make sure that we can have the best things possible. And we need to have our kids understand that working hard to get what you want in this world is the only way to succeed. Am I saying don't give your kids anything? Absolutely not. I'm saying reward them. For example, if your child is acting out and you use grounding them as your punishment, maybe you take away their phone or their TV time or whatever it is, you can also use that as an opportunity to reward their good behavior. If they had a meltdown and that's why you had to put them back in check, but now the last 2 days they've been helping around the house and just really trying to be a good child for you, then you know what? Tell them, give them a reward. Today, because you're doing good, you can have one less day on your grounding punishment, and encourage that good behavior. Teach your children how to be trustworthy if you want them to be trustworthy. It's not something that people just know how to do. It's not, we all just assume that everyone just gets it, but not everyone does. Not everyone is you. Not everyone is me. And so sometimes black and white is what needs to happen. If you have a daughter who is, a little older and she's on a dating app and she doesn't have much experience with it, maybe you should help her with some guidelines, like do not meet people at 10 o'clock at night at a bar by yourself. It's just not the smartest thing you can do. You could end up in serious situations. Don't go to some person's house after talking to them for 3 hours on a dating app. Again, the seriousness you could put yourself in. When I first met my husband, I met him online and we emailed back and forth for a month before I gave him my phone number. And then we talked for 2 weeks on the phone before I agreed to meet with him at a local coffee shop. Coffee shop, not bar. So we could discuss life. We already had a good foundation and understanding of who we both were and what we both wanted out of life. And if we explain to our children that that's what can make for a strong relationship, having that foundation, maybe it would cause less violence in this world, because you might have more of a trust established. I'm not saying it's going to be successful in every scenario. I'm not saying what works for me will work for you. I'm just saying, like, giving the wisdom that you have to your children so that they can be successful in life is the best gift you can leave them. Not buying them $300 shoes and getting up at 3 a.m. to go print their paper for school because they didn't do it until last minute. No. That creates entitlement. That creates bad behavior. If they didn't do their paperwork until 3 a.m., well, for me, I'd be like, good luck printing that tomorrow before school, because I don't like that. I want you to plan ahead. I want you to be on top of your tasks at hand. If I'm not there, I want you to be able to find ways to be successful. And so I just think that there's so many ways we could help our kids be more successful. The reality is 3 seconds is the difference from somebody that is in prison and you. 3 seconds, one bad choice. And if you're not going to discuss these things with your children, I would hate for you to get that phone call that your son's been locked up or your daughter's been incarcerated because you didn't take a few seconds to listen to them and guide them in a better direction. Please leave a message below. I'd like to hear your comments, your thoughts. What do you do to help your children be good human beings and live a positive and productive life? Let me know.